Coming up on the GenGAMEcast, one man is to blame for OnLive's meltdown. No, it's not Kevin. We get some details on the Wii U, and we talk about the meltdowns at MLG and at Nintendo Gamer Magazine. All that and more coming up on the GenGAMEcast. And welcome to the GenGAMEcast for Thursday, August 30th, 2012. I'm Trevor Mignani, and today joining me on the podcast is...
Kevin O'Rourke.
And joining us from Fearless Games,
Matt Krebaum.
And this is the show where we kick around the gaming news of the week, make some sense, make some jokes, have some horrible puns, some memes will be made. I don't know, what else? Is there anything else really that happens on the show?
We talk about Halo sometimes.
Yeah.
And Nintendo.
Oh, yeah.
Always good
Nintendo
to
somehow
talk
makes it
about
into
Nintendo.
the conversation, even when they're not even related.
Well, whenever you ever talk, and you eventually have to talk about Nintendo.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's
I feel like
childhood.
my mic stand is just like
Yeah.
going down.
As soon as you start the show, it's like I see you out of the corner of my eye, and you're like grappling with it. It's like a
I'm fighting with it because it's too
it's like
heavy.
a wrestling match, but it's like an Iron Man match for like 2 hours.
All right, so let's jump into what are you playing, Matt? What have you been up to?
I've been playing actually 3 games at once: Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, Amnesia: The Dark Descent, and Fear 2.
Awesome, Kev. What have you been up to?
Tribes Ascend.
Just Tribes
All
Ascend?
day,
That's it?
every day.
No Halo?
Tribes Ascend, Halo Reach. Tribes Ascend, Halo Reach. A little Minecraft, a little Castlevania. Throw that in there. I seem to play those games every week, but they never get old.
All right, cool. I've been keeping it real with a little bit of Tribes Ascend as well, Mister. I think we're gonna try to make a team.
We should do it.
We'll make a bid for NASL Season 4.
I'm down.
Let's do
I'll
it.
be the Slayer as Pathfinder.
You'll be the Slayer
And
as the guy
completely-
that's supposed to be getting the flags. You freaking jerk.
I try my heart out and get 30 kills where you're running around trying to get the flag and repairing everything that breaks.
Keeping the generator up.
And it works.
Yeah, it's all about finding your role.
Teamwork makes
The
the
dream
dream
work.
work.
That was really bad and awkward, and we're gonna just pretend that never happened.
All right.
All right, let's move on to onto the first story today. We're gonna talk about the OnLive meltdown. And if you guys have not read the feature on The Verge about this, it is a treat.
Yeah.
It is going to take you a while to read it, but I recommend you read it because it is a long piece. It's a few thousand words, but it pretty much details every last detail about what happened in OnLive. And the fact that pretty much it was one guy's massive ego that brought this whole ship crashing.
Yeah. It always takes just one person.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, I was very shocked that OnLive went at the way it did, because I actually, when the one game that I did play on, I was very impressed with OnLive. I thought it was actually going to be sticking around for a while.
Well, the company still is sticking around. They're not under.
That's a sketchy thing in itself. The way that it changed hands, so to speak.
I mean, that's how things work in California, though.
But will anybody support that company again? Maybe someone.
Well, I mean, they had it.
Would you buy stock in OnLive?
Probably not, but they
There
had
you
to
go.
deal. They had to deal with HP. I mean, OnLive has a lot of proprietary technology that enables them to do a lot of cool stuff beyond gaming.
That is true.
I mean, they had the Windows desktop emulation, so
Yep.
you could get a full Windows experience on an iPad, which was amazing at the time. And it was actually pretty low latency when I tested it. So you had a full copy of Office on the go.
Wow.
2 gigs of storage. It was great. And HP was like ready to go. They had clients lined up, and they didn't. And then OnLive was like, you know what? We don't want to do this because I think it's going to take us away from the gaming thing that we're doing. And they wanted to do the gaming thing.
And
Didn't work out.
What they should have done was they should have just spun off the gaming unit, or rather spun off the Windows emulation thing off to HP, sold it for a lot of money, or licensed it to HP for a lot of money, and moved on and used that to fund the gaming side.
I think it might have been an issue with because of just how bad they were doing financially, they may have been just way too concerned about taking the risk and decided to hold back instead of just take the leap forward. At least that's probably, in that situation, would have been the reasoning I would have used if I didn't go through with it. But I seemed to like a lot of it. It seemed to be like just the sheer fact that I forget the guy's name in the article. It seemed like it was more just he didn't like one man.
Yeah.
And that
Steve
ruined
Perlman, he had a massive ego. Like he didn't like when, say for example, like EA, he wanted an exclusive on EA streaming games, and he would not have it that the guys got EA games, just demos, and he's like, you know what, forget this. We're not even gonna carry them. Forget them. And that's what drove me nuts reading this. I'm like, how do you let your ego do this?
I think what I was really shocked at the fact that they said he was screaming so loud they had to close the door and crank up music so no one could hear all the ranting and raving he was doing about that.
That's bad.
It's just like, and like you said, he wasn't losing anything from them having it.
I mean, especially because they were only demos.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the really embarrassing thing.
Free demos. Would you pay for a demo? Was that the issue? No.
It seemed like it was just a sheer fact that he just did not like these people.
It was a complex.
It was just ridiculous.
I don't know, man. It's just, it's insane. It's absolutely insane what this is. Shed so much light on the situation.
Yeah, it also explains a lot of the lack of games that they were having at the time, because there was a lot of big titles that didn't make it to OnLive.
And
again, like I said, it was sad because my computer that I had at the time was garbage. I was surprised it powered on in the morning, and you could never tell. Like watching me play like Deus Ex on the game system, and then reading the specs on my computer, you would not be believing that I'm playing it on that computer. And it was just a shame that it just fell through like it did over, like I said, one man.
Yeah, all it does, it takes one man to ruin a company. All right, let's talk Wii U.
Wii U.
Yes.
We finally got some semi-specific specifications now. We're talking IBM tri-core chip, so PowerPC based, just like the Xbox.
Yeah.
So it's got power to it.
Yeah.
It's
So I mean, unknown clock speed, so we don't know what kind of power we're getting here.
Yeah. But we're gonna assume that it's
the
up to par and above, hopefully above the Xbox 360.
I think it'll be slightly above
3.
it. I mean, because of die shrinking. I mean, they had to underclock the Slims.
Yeah. There is from what I heard at one point though, I hear that some games noticed a frame rate issue with the Wii U, particularly with Tekken, but surprisingly they were able to figure a way around it. So
I don't know how, because that game's got nothing going on. It is one of the fighting games are very basic in presentation.
Dreamcast proved that it can happen with Soul Calibur.
Developers need to just realize, okay, I've got this amount of resources to use. Okay, maybe I can't have that waterfall in the background.
Yeah.
Let's not affect the core game experience, and just let's make the game run good.
That's why I always still love 2D fighter games, because you never have a problem with 2D fighter games with any type of stuff like that.
Oh yeah, because everything's flat.
Yep. And if they do have any type of issue like that, it's meant to happen. It was never accidental. But no, I'm really excited about the new Wii U specs coming out, because I've been loving the Wii U even before they even mentioned this, and just finding out a little bit of what it's capable of doing even makes me more excited.
So what we're getting besides that tri-core PowerPC chip, we're getting an AMD 7 Series GPU.
Which is a killer.
It's probably going to be low end,
GPU.
though. It's going to be a low-end GPU. I'm calling it.
Yeah?
Low
Think so?
7 Series.
No one Nintendo, most likely.
Well, that's how they keep the cost down, but still.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to go to Newegg real quick and take a look at AMD's 7 Series offerings right now, if Newegg will load. But in the meantime, one of the things that they're also doing is they're having split RAM which is interesting.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
going to have 1 gigabyte dedicated to the system, to games. So the game will have 1 gig of memory just to run the games. Which, in my opinion, I think it's a low amount.
You think so?
But isn't that higher than what most systems
It's
are
twice
offering
the
now?
Xbox 360. But then again, look at the Xbox 360, how long ago it came out.
Yeah, that is true.
We're talking a console that came out 5 years ago and was developed and had its specs locked probably 6 or 7 years ago.
Yeah, that is true.
And to only top that now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, that tends to be an issue that Nintendo has sometimes.
Like in my
Cheap out.
opinion, I think we'll see
Yeah.
on next generation Microsoft and Sony platforms at least 4 or 8 times that number. So either 4 gigs of RAM or 8 gigs of RAM for the next generation Microsoft PlayStation systems, and that's just going to enable more stuff to run at the same time.
Yeah. And that's probably also going to hurt Wii U in the long run with third-party support.
Yes.
Because that's always seems to be their big kickers, is they catch up. They look like they're going to be able to continue on to the end game, and then they just fall short half the time.
Well, yeah, the big reason why they're going to fall short is their specs are great now, but they won't be
Give 'em
great
4
4 years
years.
from now.
Yeah.
Like right now,
Jinx.
the Wii is looking like a freaking
It's like
broken.
It's like a PlayStation 2.
It's like a beat up dog trying to claw its way.
With a Wii remote and an nunchuck
Oh man, don't even.
into your living room. Help me, let me in. I'm hungry.
Oh man, but it's just
But one thing that I'm big curious about going off of with Xbox and PlayStation on that is how much of what Wii U is going to offer is going to translate to Xbox and PlayStation. Because I do know sometimes that when Nintendo introduces something,
Like a tablet?
like
for
a
instance?
tablet or motion controls or something, as soon as they introduce it, you know, the other game companies and the other fan bases will say that's the stupidest thing they ever heard of. I'm not even going to bother it. But
And then it sells like hotcakes.
But then, like, PlayStation was the best thing. They made fun of the Wii remote about looking like a lollipop, and what does the PlayStation Move look like?
they made a lollipop.
yeah.
And then all of a sudden, all the PlayStation fans were like, "Oh, motion controls are the best." And if you go, "Well, what happened when Nintendo was doing it?" They're like, "Oh, well, it wasn't good then. It's good now."
And
so,
then we saw the Kinect,
yep.
which is a glorified webcam that looks at you while you play games.
So now I'm just wondering how PlayStation and Xbox are gonna maybe possibly put in a tablet and try to present it in a way where it's not Wii U, it's different.
It's the Microsoft tablet, which will inevitably happen.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
Probably-
Microsoft's doing
probably
smart
sooner
glass.
than we think.
Smart
yes.
glass.
I mean,
yes.
they're going to be pushing. I mean, they're pushing heavy integration with Windows 8, Xbox Live,
That's
and
their
Windows
thing.
Phone
They've been
8.
doing that for a very long time now.
But the thing
Yeah.
is,
Xbox Live integration.
nobody realizes how good it actually works.
Windows Media Center, though.
Dude, have you
I
ever
don't
used
use it-
Media Center?
I
have you
don't
ever used
use
Media
it on
Center?
the Xbox.
It is
I
amazing
don't.
on the Xbox.
I
It is
just don't.
The
I don't know
best
why.
extender. Do you know why? Because if I have a TV tuner hooked up to my computer upstairs, I could watch my TV tuner on my Xbox, access all the DVR content right from the Xbox.
I don't have DVR. I'm very behind
Windows
in the
Media
time.
Center.
Yes, me
Windows
too.
Media
See
Center.
this iPhone? This is pretty new to me. This thing is new. Before this, NV2. NV2. So
If you have Windows Media Center,
for the people
though,
like me that aren't as technically advanced as you, the cyborg man, we're content with that.
as I was saying, if you have a Windows Media Center computer and a TV tuner, you have DVR automatically.
I swear you're saying Tinkle Tuner. I swear, and it's making me crack up. But Trevor, the Tingle Tuner isn't for the Xbox. So what are we
I had to
thinking?
do that for the audio listeners.
Oh, okay, perfect.
That it's not a problem with your sound card. That was actually Trevor hitting his head on the mic.
Mic palm?
Mic facing, I guess.
But
But I finally picked up some prices here for some 7 Series graphics cards. Because Newegg was down, apparently.
Really?
Uh-huh.
So,
That's
I mean,
unfortunate.
you're looking at like $100 for a off-the-shelf card.
And that's a single card, not in bulk, not bought
Right.
by a major company and specifically
Yeah.
manufactured. Because you know Nintendo's going to do some crazy little thing that needs to change it
Yep.
slightly.
Nintendo's big on trying to make it their own.
Well, I mean, they're gonna
Well, they're going to region lock
they're gonna
it.
package it into a tiny freaking thing.
Yeah.
So
They did that
I
with
mean,
the
you're not
3DS.
you're not gonna see anything like these guys here
No,
that
that's
have
way
these
too
huge
big.
Yeah.
sinks. It's gonna be a seriously gimped version of a 7th Series card.
Which it needs to be for a console.
I don't think so. I think
Otherwise, it's going to be a tank. It's going to be
I-
like Atari 5200 size.
Oh man, that thing was big.
It's going to be like a VCR.
like the PS3 though, like that's not a bad sized console.
No, it's
and
not.
that's
No,
But
that's
the
not.
original,
The original was basically the same size, only a little bit wider.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not. It's
big
not
hunky
too
It was
bad.
actually less deep. Like the PlayStation 3 now, it's like a square,
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. No.
which is really weird.
I'd have to say if there's any spec that I'm most concerned about with the Wii U is hard drive. Are they gonna do a hard drive, or are
They're
they
very
gonna...
mum on it. Like
Yeah.
they don't want to release any details, and that's making everybody scared.
Yeah,
And if you were Mr. Pactor, you'd be making comments like you're making.
yeah,
Because there is so much uncertainty in what's going to happen. We don't know the price. We don't know. We don't know when it's going to come out.
We don't know
Yep.
the release date, but we know when the accessories are coming out.
yep.
Yeah,
And
we
that's
got
pretty
that.
close.
That was pretty good. If you want to transition into that.
Yes. Shall we?
Shall we?
Let's go.
I handed you the ball.
Please. Which ball?
The ball.
The ball.
The ball. That ball.
This ball? The Nintendo Direct ball?
No, the
Matt, you're pointing at the wrong things, man.
I was just pointing at the thing underneath the specs.
The
no,
thing
because you wanted to
underneath
mention
the thing.
you wanted to mention the date that everything is going to be coming
Yes.
out. That
I did
specific
want to
date in
mention
November.
it, and it's November 18th, if I do remember correctly. Is it
That
November 18th?
would be November 18th.
November 18th. We're going to see some accessories.
Because we didn't just totally not know that date.
No, of course not.
But we do have a
Great transition, guys. Good teamwork. We totally played that off incredibly well. Now let's keep rolling with it.
So, but before November 18th rolls around, we got this little guy that's coming up.
Yep.
The little Wii U event in New York City, September 13th. We mentioned it last week.
I am super
I mean-
excited for that.
I want to take votes in the chat here. What do you think the release date will leak before this event? Do you think a price will leak before this event?
I think a
don't think
price
so.
will leak before a release day is going to leak.
If the price does
honestly.
leak, no one's going to take it seriously, I think.
I
Unless
think-
it's super duper credible, pictures, photos, videos, The Verge has it. That's the only way that
So
people
if
are
it's
going to
on The
believe it.
Verge, you'll believe
If it's
it.
on The Verge, I'll believe it.
What if it's on like Gizmodo?
If it's on like Kotaku,
You know it's bullshit.
maybe believe it.
You
Or it'll
know
be
it's
like an
complete
article
entire
that
news.
says like leaked Wii U price from some other guy.
From Best Buy.
From
This
like
is-
a
It'll
be from Best
Korean,
Buy.
Korean website or something.
This is one benefit to having a friend working for Nintendo.
Yeah.
Because the minute he finds out information that he's allowed to pass on to people,
You
I'm
find
getting
out.
text. So, like, I'm in the middle of work working. What the? Oh, the knife.
Wii U?
Oh,
$200?
Yes.
What?
Like, just
How?
recently, he gave me the supposed rumored date for Zombie U and Super Mario Brothers.
Please
and all that.
share. Please share.
What last we were talking, Target is holding pre-orders for it, and I mentioned it to him, and he said, "Oh, what's the date?" And it's like, "Oh, it doesn't say, but it says don't sell them after November 30th." And he says, "Oh, that's funny because I'm pretty sure they're supposed to come out November 14th."
And usually, if you pull out
And
a
this
calendar
release date
and you're following
uh,
along,
could be November 13th is the announcement. Or not the announcement.
September
date, but the-
13th. So,
September
November
13th is the
I thought it was
announcement.
November.
so if you follow along on a calendar, if you look at November, wow, what did you say those games are
He
dated
said
for?
he thinks he heard that they were supposed to come out November 14th.
At the water cooler, you know.
I would think 14th is that's not a day for Nintendo. That's not like the 14th lies on a Wednesday.
Yeah, that's not. They're usually a Sunday Monday group.
Nintendo is a Sunday, Friday, Tuesday group.
Yes, that is true.
So if it's November, here are your dates for November, people. And if you're going to be going in,
Can
on
we
a
pull up
pool,
the calendar right now?
I have a calendar on my computer here right now.
That's
So
right
it's
there.
got my college schedule on it too, which is amazing.
beautiful.
Let's
All
turn
right,
that
everybody,
off.
Let's go.
So no, everyone can stalk you in November.
Yes.
So basically, what you're looking at is you want to look at November 3rd. Oh, actually, the 2nd and 3rd.
I think 3rd is a little early.
Those are, yeah.
Beginning November? I'm thinking
November 4th, maybe.
late mid-November.
Then you've got the 6th, the 9th, 11, 13, 16, 18, 21, 23. I don't think it'll be 23.
Probably not.
Without a shadow of a doubt, the 23rd will be way too late.
Most likely, yeah, because then you're just right on the cusp of December, which
That
You're in,
leaves
holiday,
you
you're in
lose.
holiday season
Yeah.
already, and
You're
like, the
already
rush
in-
is gone.
Yeah, the rush is gone, and everyone's gotten pretty much the main gifts that they want.
Yeah,
No,
you don't want-
Everybody's
you don't-
got the new Xbox, the new whatever. I'm just
You don't want
supposing.
Nintendo does. This is what Nintendo doesn't want to happen. They don't want people buying Wii's this holiday season.
That
Nope.
is true.
3DS XL?
They want 3DS
Wii U's.
XLs flying out the door. They want 3DSs flying out the door.
Maybe
they want
DSs.
Wii U's running out the door.
I don't know about the.
They want to push off the DS.
Yeah, they've been kind of
They-
trying.
They want to
Nintendo-
push off the Wii too, but
Nintendo needs to kill the DS and the Wii quick.
Yeah.
That is their biggest problem. And
They
if
have to
there's
ho-
one
they try to hold
criticism,
on to everything.
They hold on. They held on to the DS for far too long.
Yeah.
The fact that they're still producing games for it is embarrassing.
Well, it's like with
It shows they have no confidence in their next generation platform.
it's like whenever anyone's at the store and like, oh, just so you know, the system, a new system's coming out. It's like, but I can still buy Wii games. Yes, for a while, Nintendo's going to slowly start weaning you off, but eventually you'll notice all the new games are Wii U games, and then they're like, oh, then I'll just wait until it becomes all Wii U. So
Yeah.
everyone's got that comfort. I can buy the system now, and I know for a year
Yeah.
I'll still be able to get games without a problem, and then I'll worry about it then when the system's
And
cheaper.
then what Nintendo's doing there then is they're taking their 5-year console life cycle and they're trimming it to 4.
Yeah. Because they're
Because
going
they-
to take that 1 year to get everybody to jump ship.
Like I remember when the Xbox 360 launched, like it was like almost boom immediate.
Yeah.
which worked.
Yep.
To some extent.
I mean, they still had the original Xbox. I mean, still the best, the highest played game on Xbox Live when the 360 was out was Halo 2. Up until they shut down, and up until Halo 3 came out.
Yeah, not until they shut down the servers. That was much later. You're
The-
jumping the gun there.
That
with
was
the
a sad
timeline.
day.
The only,
Don't try to jump the gun on the timeline for Halo with me. I got you. I got you.
The
Just
only-
playing the Halo 3
yeah.
beta.
the only thing I think they may be worried about is because like PlayStation and Xbox did that, a lot of parents were pissed off because they didn't want to buy a new system
why
right
would you
away.
want to?
And Nintendo is probably concerned, oh, since we're a family system, we got to make it a more appealing transition than that hard stop now, buy new.
Because when you're catering to the family, you're catering to the people that maybe 2-3 kids don't have
Yep.
the budget for it. Oh, why am I buying a new game console? It's going to cost me X amount of dollars. We don't have that in the budget.
Yep.
New games, new controllers, new everything. Just doesn't work.
And going off of that, you're catering to the kids who are going to play the game and the parent that's going to play the game. So not only do you have to get
That's
the
gonna
kid
buy the
interested, to buy. Not only you have to get the kid interested in the game, you have to make it convincing enough for the parent to purchase that game.
And this is where marketing comes into play, ladies and gentlemen.
Now you can skip your economics
Trevor's giggling at
class.
something.
I love the chat. The chat is great, and if you don't watch the show live, you miss out on fun stuff like this that happens in the chat. And if you're watching the audio podcast, if you're not watching it, you're listening to it.
Yep.
You're missing great images on the video podcast. So we encourage you to watch live, 8:45 Eastern time on Thursdays. There's some fun stuff. The chat's
Doing
always
chat
active and interesting.
These are not Spirit's fingers. These are Spirit fingers. Hunter.
All right.
Inside jokes, no one gets them.
Yep, nobody got that one. All right, let's talk about Nintendo Direct. Kev, did you follow this event?
You know, I don't speak Japanese,
Neither do
contrary
I.
to popular belief, so I couldn't follow along.
The most I could do is hajime mashite. I can introduce myself and tell you I ate a hamburger. That's it.
So we didn't follow it as the layman's terms.
Yeah, we got the bullet points.
We got the
though.
scoop, though.
We got the bullet points,
Yeah.
which is good, very good actually.
Yes.
So let's see if we could rewatch it on GenGame.net. We have the video embedded, so if you want to take a look,
It's right there.
there it is, right there for you. Nintendo Direct.
Oh, yeah.
As we look through the bullet points, I'm starting to
これ
realize
ま
that
でい
this
つ
isn't
も
really
社内の部
everybody's
屋からお
cup
送
of
りしてき
tea.
た任天堂ダイレクトですが、
I caught Nintendo Direct there.
Yeah.
That
So
was just
that's
about
pretty
as
much
much
all
as I
that you're
caught.
going to understand from that one if you don't speak Japanese. But you can watch the video, enjoy the visuals and the trailer, and the actually pretty decent green screening job that they did there.
Not too shabby.
No, not at all.
Better than usual. Oh, man, that's a good Photoshop opportunity. But out of the things that we care about, we get
Sticker Star.
Sticker
New
Star.
Sticker Star trailer.
Game
I
Freak.
don't know how I feel about that.
Game Freak making a non-Pokemon game.
Yes.
That's that I find that hard to believe.
You have a new Professor Layton game. And for the girls out there, a pink and white 3DS XL.
Girls mode.
Girls mode.
Not like the Borderlands 2 girls mode. Completely different girls mode.
Oh, man, that sounded really dirty.
That is a whole nother animal.
Well, now that this podcast has taken a turn down the road we really didn't want to go under, let's, do we have any other Nintendo stuff?
No, I think we're good.
I think we're
we
good
hit the
for now.
bullet points. Animal
But
Crossing.
check the bullet points. Yeah, Animal Crossing, it's
Yep.
going to have the ability to shift in-game time, so it's a bit more convenient for you. So you don't have to go in and change your system time. You could just, you know,
Change it
change
for
it
the
in game.
One and done.
which is nice.
Yeah, very nice. Because I never liked playing Animal Crossing because I only had like hour or two to play at a specific time every day. And it's just like, okay, I can only experience this time of day. Lovely. And then I would change the date and time on my GameCube like to Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Trevor.
I'm interested
It's
to
July.
see. I'm interested to see what Civilization A is going to be like.
Yeah.
Because like Civilization 5 just stole my entire life for 3 months. And
So.
Professor Layton,
It's a good puzzle game.
I've been meaning to pick them up. I just never have the cash when they're around. But I've
they-
always wanted to pick them up. The guy Nobu, who does all the music for Final Fantasy, says it's one of his favorite soundtracks that he did compose on is in the Professor Layton games.
That's a pretty good compliment.
Yeah.
It is indeed.
So if you were under a rock in the esports space this past weekend,
You had to say under a rock.
jeez, I had...
He just got the biggest grin on his face. You have no idea. If you've been under a rock, he's like, that's my catchphrase. Gratuity now. I saw him reach for his
All
wallet. Look,
How much do I owe you
mention-
for that one? Is that a dollar royalty?
Tell you what, he'll bill you after the
$1.
podcast.
I'll put you on the tab.
All right, here you go. You get $1 for the gratuity.
First one's on me.
There we go. First one's on you. So no more under the
All right.
rock references.
All right, so we can't reference that. I don't own it. It's copywritten. Sorry about that.
Copyright.
So if you haven't been paying attention to the gaming news lately,
So you haven't been paying attention to esports.
There you go.
MLG had their summer championships, and it was actually pretty exciting because if you're a StarCraft fan, not only did you have the MLG Summer Championships, you had the WCS North American Finals, which was probably more exciting than the MLG event, and because it had more meaning. And my favorite player, Idra, actually came in fourth, so I'm happy about that. He's going on to the Grand Finals in China
Ooh,
in a month.
nice.
There is still one more WCS title, or rather, nation tournament, and that's for the European region. So actually, not a nation tournament, but a region tournament. So that'll be all the European countries getting together and battling it out. Top 9 go to China.
Nice.
So excited about that. League of Legends. Man, there was some controversy
that was
there.
Yeah, really.
Well,
Man.
you take the
Where
line.
do we start? Go ahead, Trev. Start us off.
You know, I'm not like the biggest fan of League of Legends. I respect the game as an esport because it's shown so much growth, and I have a lot of respect for the players and teams that put in the days and days and days and days and days of work to perfect strategies and
Master
evolve.
the champs.
Yeah,
The ever-changing meta.
but then there's this, which is really bad for esports. And when you have two teams in the final, you had Kursene and you had Team Dignitas. They both made it to the finals. No matter who won, there would have been no change in ranking in either, I believe, either MLG ranking or in the League of Legends Season 2 ranking.
Okay.
So this series actually had no physical meaning.
Zero meaning.
Had zero significance.
And what
Nothing
does
to
that-
lose and nothing to gain.
And what does that mean for people that can't lose anything?
They collude to split the prize money.
Yeah.
Or supposedly, because Dignitas has come out and said that they did not collude to do that.
Really?
Which is even weirder because now we're seeing conflicting stories from Riot, MLG, Dignitas, and Curse.
Huh.
So Curse basically colluded with themselves, is what we're getting.
Well,
at the
no,
end of the
Curse
day.
didn't say they colluded either. Riot and MLG said they did, but all they said that they agreed to was the game one all random all middle, which was actually hilarious to watch.
Yeah.
And I mean, for a series that legitimately meant nothing besides prize money, and literally the difference of I think $20,000, which for these teams is an absolute drop in the bucket,
Yeah.
if that.
I'd like to walk away with $20,000.
Split 5+ ways plus your travel expenses, you're walking away with nothing.
Pretty much.
Take a few photos.
You get a novelty check, and you get a little glass
Big
trophy.
giant checks with my name on it. I get the picture.
Like from the publishing
That's
clearance
what they
house?
call a novelty check. But the community's split on this. Like, there's some people saying this is BS. MLG shouldn't have done this, while other people are saying, yeah, they got what they got coming to them because they broke the rules. They did not play the game as it was intended, and they did not want to play the game as it was intended. People are likening this to like two football teams coming out on the field and saying, "Yeah, we're gonna play rugby today."
Or the Black Sox scandal. Baseball collusion.
Yeah,
There's some
yes.
baseball in there.
Yep.
A lot of guys got in trouble for that.
yeah.
Yeah, they did.
But this is not a sports podcast, so let's
No.
go
I
ahead
mean,
and not talk
we're
about that.
talking esports things. So I mean,
That is true.
It's
It
related.
That's
works.
really all you need
It
to say
works.
about the Black Sox
Yeah.
scandal, though.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, they didn't. I don't think either team intended on forfeiting a game, which is what MLG's saying. And they couldn't conspire to manipulate rankings or brackets because there's nowhere to gain or lose.
Yeah, because no matter what happens, it's like...
They couldn't.
It's not like you could say, oh, I throw the game, you guys get a ranking, we get the money. Like, it's just like, oh, okay, we could just have some fun.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
split it.
I agree with MLG's actions that they should that they disqualified them. I don't know if they're facing any extra suspensions or anything,
probably not.
but
It's just a shame, though. It ruins the show,
Yeah.
you know?
And
And that's what it's about. It's the show.
Yeah.
well, I mean, if you really want to talk about ruining the show, it's when you get snubbed by Team Solo Mid and other top level teams saying, "We don't care about your tournament." Like, that's a snub right there.
Yeah.
And Sundance should be looking at that and thinking, wait, if the top teams don't want to compete in Major League Gaming, what are we doing wrong?
I go for the free Dr. Pepper. Just me. I have a soft spot for Dr. Pepper. Like, that alone, you get that for me, like, I'm there. I'll pay the flight ticket, even if I lose. Some free Dr. Pepper, let's go. Trev?
I don't drink Dr. Pepper.
I don't drink Dr. Pepper either.
More
so.
for me.
Yeah. You can have ours.
You guys can carry bags.
Of
Go
Dr.
with it.
Pepper. To carry the Dr. Pepper home?
Yes, for me.
Oh, man. So, besides that,
Besides that, there's one big thing that I do have to say. Halo 4
yeah, this is
Premiere.
probably the most exciting thing that for me, at least.
on the MLG Pro Tour in Dallas.
Yeah.
Very
so-
excited.
That's interesting.
New gameplay footage to dissect. Maybe people get some new weapons.
Yeah.
Bravo's going to put some videos out. Green Skull's going to have some videos. It's going to be a fun time. Halo Council's going to be going nuts.
Oh, yes.
Halo
Lots of
Cast is
news.
going to go down.
It's been down.
Everyone will mass
Every
flood
time.
to their computers.
Cloudflare.
The site is currently not available right now, but here's a snapshot.
Woohoo!
So
That's all we got about MLG and all that stuff.
I just hope
Right?
we don't see any more of that in the future.
With esports or just in general?
Just in esports in general, it's just it's very sad to see these controversies come out, and it's even worse when it's conflicting stories because then nobody knows who's telling the truth.
Yep.
I mean, if they colluded, both of them should come out and just say they did. Get everything on the table and just say it as it is. Don't hide anything, because if you hide it and somebody finds out, it's so much worse.
Yep.
And when these types of things happen, sponsors get scared.
Yeah.
And it
Eas-
ends up on the podcast.
Yep.
Just more publicity that they don't need because this is a very
Yeah.
heavy hitting audience.
I mean, anybody here on Twitch TV, I can guarantee you at least 10 to 15% of our audience has watched some sort of competitive video gaming. At least that much.
At least more.
Probably
so.
more. If you've watched competitive games, yeah, Sam from CrossFitter, I actually am a heavy hitter in esports.
See, there you go.
Mr.
Word of mouth.
Mr. I have the second highest payout Call of Duty tournament ever. Something like that.
That's something to brag about.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah,
that's
brag
actually
about
that's actually really good.
That is definitely bragging rights right there.
Definitely. So check out CrossFitarena.com. They're getting a fresh coat of paint.
Fresh coat of paint.
Yeah.
So
You heard it here first.
Yeah. Have the secret sauce in the side room over there. Gotta pull it out and paint it
Stir
on.
it.
Get the stick.
Gotta make the brackets work.
That's the next step.
All right, let's move on because
All right.
I want to get on to some more trolling. Besides
Yes.
the all random, all middle trolling that we saw this past weekend, Game decided to troll everybody themselves. Because they're like, you know what, Curse, you did good there. We got you top tier. We're gonna go after the Legend of Zelda fans, and they had this to put on their page. They put a listing up for the Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask 3D for 3DS, released on TBC 2012 for £30.
30 pounds.
So that was pretty trollish, and
Yeah.
it immediately disappeared, but not before everybody and their mother and
Got a screen
father,
cap.
sister, brother, grandmother, grandfather, and uncle got a screen cap,
Yeah.
and it kind of blew up badly, and they had to retract it. They'd say it was a mistake. Retailers all the time, they have listings for things that aren't out yet.
Yeah.
Because if they don't, they're going to be caught unprepared for when things become available so they can get early sales.
Yep. Though I can imagine a lot of people were not happy when they came out and said that wasn't actually real.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Could be real.
Oh, it could be, but the fact that they said, "Oh no, that was a mistake," I'm sure a lot of people are now upset that they can't pre-order.
Or that maybe
Majora's
they
Mask.
did try to pre-order.
Or the fact that it may or may not be coming out
I don't think
now.
any orders that were able to be put
Yeah,
through.
nothing
though.
was able to go through. It was
Probably
down
not.
within like,
Yeah.
I don't know how many minutes. Kind of amazing how someone was able to just sit there and just be like, "Oh, Majora's Mask. Better screen cap this."
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And it spread. Big
yeah,
time.
it was
Wildfire.
pretty bad, but
Whatever.
It happens.
it happens. It happens to the best of us.
And maybe we'll see Majora's Mask 3D in the future.
eventually.
Hopefully.
And
Probably not. Maybe.
maybe, I don't know.
Well-
Operation Moonfall's kind of fallen by the wayside.
Well, it may.
We don't speak of those guys anymore.
It may be something to appease players while they're waiting for the next Wii U Zelda game. It's not
The
coming out for another
the
year.
interim Zelda.
Here's Majora's Mask.
I guarantee you they have it already done.
Probably.
I mean, what the heck is Grezzo doing right now? In all honesty, what is Grezzo doing right now? Nothing.
Star Fox, Metroid crossover.
Oh my.
They debunked that like
I know
ages
that
ago.
was a long dead rumor. That thing's been killed.
Killed and buried. It's got a headstone.
Killed, buried,
Dead and
and
gone.
moss is growing on the gravestone already.
Oh wow.
All right, let's talk about Microsoft and Atari bringing some classic Atari games to HTML5 browsers,
Oh
including
man.
touch-enabled browsers.
Oh man. If half the games are on it that I grew up with, then I'll be too busy sitting at work just playing.
Yeah.
I mean, that was my childhood right there. From when I was 3 to about 6 was Atari. That was just, I love that system to death. And that's one video game system no matter what happens. If I were to bring home an Atari right now, I would never see my mom and dad again. They would just lock themselves in their room and they'll just play that system until it burns out.
Well, now they can burn their phones and tablets out because you can play Asteroids Combat, Centipede, Lunar Lander, Missile Command, Pong, Super Breakout, and Yar's Revenge.
Oh.
Available
Nice.
via a new arcade section at Atari's website.
Nice.
They'll work on Internet Explorer, Chrome, Safari, Firefox, and anything that's HTML5 compatible. including mobile Safari and mobile Internet Explorer.
Nice.
So it's a good sign for everything except for Android tablets.
Yes.
It'll come eventually.
It'll come eventually. They're going to test it first, and then they'll spread out.
Yeah, I doubt this will ever see Android.
We can always hope.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like the games are that complicated that it can't be done.
I'm sure it can be done.
One way or another.
Yes.
So let's go ahead and move on.
To some sad news.
Yeah, this is another casualty, and if you were listening to the podcast theme, we picked it just for this article right here. Unfortunately, we got some bad news for Nintendo Gamer Magazine. They're going to be issuing their last. They're going to have their last issue September 6th, and this is really sad for the Nintendo Independent Game Press
Oh, yeah.
because this is like the second to last Nintendo magazine. But the good news is they're
Still
not
digital.
shutting down entirely.
Still digital.
They will be maintaining their website, and they'll be releasing digital content, much like we do probably on GenGame.net, via news posts and reviews and whatever.
It's still going to be it's going to be hard not missing going out to the store and buying that magazine or
Isn't this
getting in the mail.
Kev? Isn't this the magazine that Heraldcraft was featured in?
Not too sure. I am not too sure.
I don't know.
Could be. To be
All
honest,
right.
I forget. We'll just say yes. How about that? We'll just say yes and chalk it up.
All right, let's go
Put it
ahead
in
and
the
move
books.
on to. This is probably one of the most exciting things I've seen in the past few weeks. The Halo 4 Forward Unto Dawn Enlist live action trailer. Can't wait for this.
Can we play it?
We'll play bits of it.
All right.
I can't play too much of it, but we'll play bits of it.
Courtesy of Halo Waypoint. I love the live action stuff that they do.
Yeah,
It's
it looks
amazing
so
that
good.
Halo can meld into the live action stuff just so easily. It's seamless. And I'm really looking forward to Forward Unto Dawn. Very much so. If you get the special edition of Halo 4, you actually get a full-length DVD of the series.
Really? That's
so if you miss
interesting.
it, you could watch it in one sitting.
Yeah, I mean they're releasing them in webisodes, so they're going to be very short clips. But
Yeah.
I think it's going to be. It looks very promising.
Yeah, they're going to be releasing it through Machinima Prime. So if
Yeah.
you aren't subscribed, subscribe.
Subscribe now.
They don't put too many videos up, so it's not like a spam wall of every Machinima video.
Yeah, well,
Ever.
it's Prime. It's the good stuff.
Yeah, it's the good
Yeah.
stuff.
So check it out. That'll be. We have it on GenGame.net. It's actually a few pages back now, but
It's still there.
You'll find it.
you'll check it out. You use the search function. It might work.
I hope it will.
I hope it works.
If not, you can always just do it the old-fashioned way.
If not, there's always YouTube
Yep.
And Halo Waypoint.
and Halo Waypoint and Guilty Spark.
Yes.
And Guilty Spark. All right, last bit on the news today, we've got Steam Greenlight being greenlit.
Yeah.
So Steam Greenlight, not Steam Greenlight, yes, it is Steam Greenlight.
It's yes.
Yeah.
I
Steam
keep thinking
Greenlight.
it's
Steam
Valve
Greenlight.
Greenlight.
Nope. Steam Greenlight.
But Steam Greenlight is allowing creators of new games
It's like a Kickstarter.
It's
for
like
Valve.
a Kickstarter,
Yeah.
but a bit more refined.
Yeah.
And it's going to say, okay, we've got these 30 games here, which is what they're actually launching, and they're asking for feedback. What's good about the games? What's bad about the games? What do you think should be changed? I think this is good.
Yeah.
I-
It's a great way. Sorry for cutting you off,
That's
Matt.
right.
It's a great way for the community to pick what they want to buy. What more could you want?
And it's also a great way for people to feel more invested in games and feel more like that the games were more sense being made with one's opinion in mind.
Right.
Rather than the game saying this is what you want, you have the ability to now say this is what I want.
Exactly, and that's good.
That is more games should do that, I think.
Well, I
honestly.
mean, the more community input a game gets, the better it gets. I mean, you look at League of Legends, very community driven.
Yeah.
They are very active on their forums. They're constantly looking on ways to improve the game, and they do a great job. And that's why it's where it is today. Blizzard, to a lesser extent, I mean, they listen to more of their professional community.
Yeah.
rather than the
And
general
look at
populace.
look at their tournaments and be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's a little broken. We're gonna fix that. Sorry.
I thought you were gonna say Diablo 3.
Oh, that game is just all sorts of beta. That's
Heard
still,
it's better.
I haven't played it in
haven't
a long
played
time.
it. I guarantee if
played
I open Diablo 3 right now, it'll get like a 40-minute patch.
Same here. Same here. I haven't played in forever.
All right, let's. Anything else?
Want to wrap it up on a good note?
Let's wrap it up on a good note.
Do we have any community news we'll talk about? Minecraft Sandbox coming soon.
Benny was supposed to be here this week. He called out on me, and he had the details. So I wanna do it with him.
All right,
so
we'll
we're
save it for
we're gonna
then.
save it for next week. But we do have a sign up form on gengame.net/MCB.
Which Trevor will pull up on the laptop.
I'm gonna pull up on the laptop
as
to
I stall for time.
to show you. So if you take a look here, you click on applications, and boom, all we need is 4 pieces of information from you. Actually, 3 are required. 4 is if you want to compete in any team events. We need to know a unique team name to keep you grouped up. So we need to know what your name is. We need to know what your Minecraft username is, and we need to know
Your
an
credit
email
card?
address.
Oh,
Need
I'm sorry.
We also need your credit card, social security number, mother's maiden name, and any personally identifiable information.
And your billing address.
Billing address. That is also very
You
important.
can just write that all on the first line where it says name.
No, but we just need your first name, your Minecraft username, and your email address so we can let you know when the Minecraft Sandbox is starting, what the topics are, and how you can get yourself a spot. It's going to be pretty crazy. It's basically going to be free for all.
Nice.
It's going to be insane.
Scary.
Like, we could have, I think we're capping it, though, at 8 teams per event. So there'll be some sort
That
of
sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
reasonability. Or 4, I don't know, depending on how big
I
the
think you
event
just
is.
made that word up.
Reasonability.
Sound like George Bush.
Strategic.
The
The strategery.
the reasonability of the Minecraft sandbox. Very reasonable amount of players. The reasonability of the strategism of the players.
Oh, man.
That's
It
too.
wasn't even that good of an impression.
It was good in my book.
Well, that's good. Just wait till my Bill Clinton. We'll save that for next week.
Oh my.
Oh, we got to get political because the elections are coming up.
That's why.
Yes.
Everybody's going to put on their best for Mitt Romney and Barack Obama.
I'm going to be pulling the Bill Clinton because that's all I could do.
All right. So sign up. Do it now while the show's going, while we wrap up with things we're looking forward to. Anything different this week, Kev?
I'm still looking forward to Halo 4.
Nothing else? Just Halo
I mean,
4? Halo 4?
Playing some Tribes Ascend.
Yeah, that game caught me by so much surprise.
I've been having a lot of fun with it. I don't know if it'll fizzle out as quickly as my attention span for other games, but I'm looking forward to Halo 4, Tribes Ascend. Maybe the fixes to Diablo 3. I don't know.
Nice.
So where can people find you online, Kev?
You can find me online on Twitter at Shabazzle. You could also email me kevin@gengame.net.
Matt, where can people find you on the interwebs?
They can find me on Fearless Games, either on YouTube, Twitter, or Facebook. And that's primarily where I've been mostly. Every so often I'll pop up on Gen Game.
Yeah, every once in a while.
Yep,
With that not to be said show of yours.
Yes. Or
Gotta
else
be
people
careful.
start owing me money.
I'll be broke by then. You'll
I'm
own
like
all the
Donald
shares
Trump.
of Gen Game.
I'm like Donald Trump. I take.
All right, and I'm Trevor Miani, the host of the GenGAMEcast. You can hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, not MySpace, but you can leave a comment on the post when it goes up. And check out our new sister podcast, Forward Compatible.
Yes.
The boys from Chicago put on
Good
a pretty
mentioning.
decent show. If you want to get in touch with me, you can just hit me up on Twitter, @TheMags. It's right in the lower third, or @TheMags if you're listening.
Or on the front page of Gen Game.
Yeah, or
Yep.
right on the front page of Gen Game.
For everyone to see.
So that'll do it for the Gen Game Cast. Check us out next Thursday. Record 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time at twitch.tv/GenGame. Bye-bye, everybody.